Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is April 20th, 2021, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the major highlights of the day, the euro making a recovery from last month above 120. There are no major economic events scheduled for today, but lots of corporate earnings coming out. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. So starting out with the various markets. In the currencies, the US dollar weaker versus the major pairs, the GBP actually popping to 140 as well. Now looking at the indices, the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones trading on session highs. NASDAQ just tapering off just a little bit this morning. And looking at commodities, gold capitulates and kind of consolidates at a certain level, and oil remaining strong isn't going to pop up higher. Stocks rotation continues as Alcoa continues to push higher while the FANG stocks show some weakness. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin finally settling after a roller coaster of a ride. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're starting out with the daily chart of the Euro USD, and look at this nice V formation for the euro, making a nice recovery after having some setback last month with the COVID-19 coronavirus setting certain economies and closing them down, and thereby weakening the euro. Now the euro finally making a comeback to this 120.60-ish level. The next real resistance-ish level is 122, right about there. So I do expect a lot of turbulence going into this area. Okay, it's not going to be such a slam dunk that it's going to close off. Okay, so if you do have some long positions, you might want to start unloading them. Okay, I don't think we're going to go back down to this 117-ish level, but looking at the GBP USD, look at this nice pop up to 140 as this is finally catching itself up. Okay, now GBP is always stronger, not always, but mostly stronger versus the USD vis-a-vis the euro, and you're seeing that luster come back and regaining its character. Okay, trading at 140 at this resistance-ish level. Okay, I would have expected the euro to be at 122, whereas here you see it's trading at 140, so stronger than the euro versus the USD. Okay, now at this stage, all right, I do expect some sort of turbulence hitting this resistance-ish level and some sort of setback. If we blow right through it, we could go back to this 141, 143-ish level even, okay? So that's my not prediction, but that's my assessment here as this is making a nice recovery. Now looking at the gold, finally tapering off after hitting 1790, a really great move here, okay? For those of you who picked it up at 1678, kudos to you, okay? That was really a sweet spot to actually continue buying it on that double dip and the double bottom. Now looking at oil, all right, this is getting stronger. $64 a barrel. Okay, this is really getting stronger with anticipation that the markets are going to be opening up going into May, June, July, where the coronavirus really recedes itself internationally. We saw it last year. So we may see some further buying here, maybe hitting even $70 a barrel. Now jumping into the indices, okay, we're going to first look at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is really the stronger of the two, okay, trading at 34,000. Okay, look at these pullbacks and then continue buy, pull back to 33,900 yesterday, and then continue pushing higher. We're just off of our highs. Now, we may see a rotation in the stocks, but looking first at the NASDAQ, okay, you'll see a different picture here where you see a little bit weaker, okay? It did sell off a little bit more aggressively, and the bounce is not as proficient as the Dow, okay? And this is part of how the financial system works. There's a rotation, okay? If we look at the big tech stocks, okay, we'll see that they're actually weaker, the FANG stocks. And if we look at Alcoa, we'll see that it actually pushed out higher yesterday, which represents the Dow Jones. Okay, here we go at 35.85. Look at that follow through. Look at that strength. Okay, every time it receded, even to the 30-day moving average, bounced off of it and continued going higher. Okay, so this is really important. Now, at these levels, always scary to buy because, you know, as the market goes higher, you know, your risks of buying obviously is that much greater. Okay, at a certain point there's going to be a sell-off because people are going to book their profits. Okay, and the markets have appreciated tremendously over the past 6 months. Now looking at the big tech stocks, let's take a look at them. Microsoft just slightly lower at 257. Facebook nice lower. Okay, this was probably the biggest retracement out of all the FANG stocks. If we look at Apple, also close to its highs, but not on its dead highs. Okay, and looking lastly at Amazon, a little bit off at that resistance-ish level. So, you know, I don't see it pushing higher. Maybe if Apple pushes us higher, maybe we'll see that rotation actually continue and getting back into the FANG stocks pushing higher, okay, and bringing back Facebook to its highs. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we had this nice sell-off going last Friday. News event, all into consideration. If you're scalping this market, good for you. If you're not, if you're taking positions in this market, don't do that, because you could see that it's not following through. Okay, at this area, if we look just at a 4-hour chart, there's no major trend here. There's nothing going from, let's say, 50,000 up to 64,000, right? It's very choppy and not consistent. Okay, so with that said, I do believe we're hitting a bottom range here. Okay, so if you want to, you know, start building a position around this area, just small, just seeing how it's following through, might be a good idea. Okay, but just remember, this can change on a dime, so be very aggressive about stop losses. Okay, don't let those losses get out of hand, but you want to be in it to win it. So at that pace, just trade it a little bit smaller, build that position, in and out, intraday trading, not more than that. Okay, because this is really choppy, and as you can see, you know, things that, you know, position traders who are looking for 3 to 4 days could find themselves in or out of the money just arbitrarily. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.